bucks an hour and no one respects him. And this is the guy who's charging 50 bucks, but he's saying, okay, I will do all these other things that will save you time. Which one, and as a YouTuber myself, which one am I gonna hire? This guy automatically, because he's put such a low price, I'm gonna think he's shit. That's just the truth of it. I'm gonna think this guy's skill is fucking trash. If he's charging $5 an hour, this guy charges more than everyone else, and he's put a massive list. I know you're a YouTuber who wants to save his time, and so these are the extra things I will do for you. I'll even make the thumbnail. I'll make it a high click-through rate. I'll do the titles, everything. I'll do it all, so you don't even have to like log on to YouTube anymore, and you can focus on creating videos. Imagine how much more money this guy would make, and he's charging 10 times more. Think about the power of that. He's just added to his skill set. He's charging more, which means that he's gonna attract wealthier clients who can spend more money. Usually, like, this is just the truth, what we just learned in the story with Ryan. When someone pays more, they start paying attention. People who have got more money are always just better people to deal with. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. You can say that I'm being hurtful or something. When you're selling to someone who's richer, they are almost always better customers than selling to someone who's broke. The guy who prices his video editing for $5 is only going to get shit clients. But the guy who, for example, says he'll edit the video and do all this for $50 or for 500, who can afford that? The top tier YouTubers who are actually successful. And so you start networking with these big dogs. So this is something that a lot of guys have a huge limiting belief about. You're thinking, well, I can't charge that much because of this. Hamza told me that, 10 times more, but I can't because of this. You think that there's a special reason that you can't do this. Maybe you're young and thinking, oh, but people don't have that much money. That's one of the limiting beliefs I've always heard. And I always say to that, bro, you're 14. Most of your friends have got AirPods. Most of your friends have got $100 shoes. So shut the fuck up that, oh, but I'm only 14, it's too cheap. Oh, but bro, I'm in India. First of all, bro, you're selling to people worldwide. And second of all, have some fucking respect for yourself. Like, stop belittling your own country and your origins. Oh, but I'm in India and, people don't make that much money. There's billionaires in India. How the fuck do you think you're gonna sell to them if you're pricing your shit at $1 per hour? What do you think the billionaires and the multi-millionaires in India are buying from? They're not buying from little peasants who are charging $1 an hour. They're buying from a guy who had the confidence, the audacity to charge $100 an hour. So why would you not put yourself in that position? I speak to young men every single day in Adonis school about this because they don't want to price their things high enough. And I shout at them and I tell them, okay, price it like this. I'm telling you, I've already done all the split tests. I've already got all the data. Here is the data. It's better if you price your product at this much, like $500. And still I'll see guys come in like, oh, no, I've only put it at 99 because I'm really young. It's like, what the fuck? The whole point is that you listen to the guy who's got years of experience in business. Every guy who's in business will tell you the exact same thing. Don't undercharge yourself. It's something that every single businessman has done. When you undercharge yourself, you get the worst clients. They put in less work. You care about them less. You give them a worse service, and your self-image is lowered because you're a $5 an hour kind of guy or a $25 an hour kind of guy. Guess how much my hourly rate is? It doesn't even have a number because it's too absurd for me to write it down anywhere. It's literally too expensive for me to sell an hour of my time these days. If I was going to give you a random number which you think would be stupid to say, it'd be about $10,000 for an hour of my time. If a businessman wanted me to hop on a call with him and give him YouTube advice for an hour, I would probably charge about 10K. And you're thinking, oh, well, no one would pay that. I'm here on your side trying to help you to make more money. And you're fighting against your own success by saying, no, but Hamza, I can't charge that much because I've got a really small penis. No, here, Hamza, here's 7 reasons why I'm not that good. What I love about this idea of pricing more, which is what we've learned in this book, is that when you do put up your price, that's when your brain starts to think of ways that you can make it worth it. If straight away you allow these limiting beliefs that have been put onto you by the peasants or the media or your parents, these limiting beliefs, then you won't do it. But if you just open up your brain and really just think to yourself, okay, if I did charge 10 times more and I had to make it worth it, just as a fun practice, like don't get fucking offended at me, just for a fun practice, why don't you just spend 10 minutes just doing this? As an actionable step, like, why don't you just think about how much you're getting paid right now, whether it's a business or maybe it's like, you know, being an employee. If you've never really made money before, then you could maybe choose the minimum wage for your age in your country. So in the UK, it's, you know, it's £7 an hour. And you could think to yourself, okay, how could I be worth £70 for an hour of my time? What could I do? And for what kind of person? For me, let's say I've told you my hourly rate would be 10k. I could ask myself, okay, what could I do for someone that would be worth 100k but only require an hour of my time? I'd go choose some kind of businessman who's already doing 1 million a month, but he's only got a few thousand subscribers on YouTube. And I'd go and investigate his channel for like 10, 20 minutes. And I'd go and like maybe record him like a Loom or go onto a video call with him and give him 5 or 10 practical things he could start to implement straight away. I could even connect him with, for example, one of my editors. I could connect him with my thumbnail guy, and suddenly he's got like a team of capable people who are helping him. Then I can also let him text me and say that, okay, I can give you 2 minutes of my time per week after this. Then I can go on to a quick couple of messages with his team if he's got a personal assistant, if he's got a content director. You see, like, instead of just giving the base level and taking the scraps of what you could make, you charge 5 to 10 times more and you package it while just thinking, okay, what is his goal? It's just the thinking practice, and a lot of guys don't have this like power of belief where they just want to undercharge themselves, and it really shows. So it's all about packaging up what you're selling as this big offer to the cure of their problems, rather than selling a specific service at once. And that idea changed my life, because instead of, for example, selling a course, I put 7 courses inside of a private community where people can speak to me, and they can also get 10 calls a week, live calls a week with sleep experts and testosterone coaches and a Buddhist monk to teach you about dopamine detox and meditation, and calls with me, and a call with this guy who's really good at the way of the superior man so he can help you with finding your purpose, then affiliate marketing call. Like, I've put all of that together rather than just being like, oh, you know, I'll go onto a call with you, or rather than it being, okay, you know, you can buy this course. It's this entire package is what I sell. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you get 10 things that would help you when you buy my program. And that's why I charge 10 times more than, for example, Andrew Tate's program. Because we have the same offer, but I charge 10 times more than his. Give me a year and see how many people have joined mine, because I will be making a lot of money from this. And there is one final book that has really helped me to make a huge amount of money. This was a long time ago now. I'm in the kitchen of my house and there's screaming. I turn and see my mother, and she's screaming, she's yelling, she's ranting, she's so angry. I can't believe this has happened. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? We need to tell your father about this. She's angry and upset and taken back about the fact that I just had a fight with a man. And not just any man. This guy he's bigger than me. He's stronger than me. He knows all of my moves because he taught me them. This man is my big brother. Now, he's not actually a man. He's 14 years old and I'm 12. But he's hit puberty and I haven't. And so I'm looking up to him like this. Motherfucker 6'1" with a full beard, and here I am with gyno. And we're 2 brothers who are having fights. And my mom is yelling and yelling and yelling. And you know, when you look at a word, like you've been writing, and you look at a word for so long, the word starts to look a bit weird, and you're trying to think, wait, have I spelt that wrong? Is that what that word looks like? The same thing was happening to my mother's face because I was just looking at it for 5, 10, 20 minutes. Is that actually what she looks like? I don't think I've ever looked at my mom's face for this long before. And so right about now, it seems like the perfect time for me to go for a nap. And so I go to the other room, I grab a cushion from the couch, and I put it down on the floor, and as if it's a normal thing to do when you're getting shouted at by your mom next to your brother, I just lie down on the floor nice and comfy like this, and just look up to my mom. A few days later, me and my brother fight again. My mum was trying to pass on the wisdom and the knowledge and the values of brotherhood. She was telling me about stories of her and her brother who has passed away, of loyalty and friendship and love and blood. And I wasn't able to take that wisdom. Me and my brother weren't. The reason why is because I was distracted. I wasn't able to focus when my mother was trying to pass me on to this lesson, and so I didn't learn the lesson till a solid 10 years later. The book, Deep Work by Cal Newport, goes into this, and it tells you about what a shallow life you can live if you live in a state of distraction, if you're unable to focus. Most people can't focus, most people aren't present, most people are mindless. And so when you speak to them, you know this, whether it's a family member or a friend, some people's brains are just weird, switched off, AFK, and you're trying to speak to them and they're literally on their phone whilst they speak to you, just brain dead. Or you can see that like they're thinking about the latest fucking TikTok dance whilst you try and communicate with your girl. Imagine when these kinds of people then go and do work. Their work is going to be a reflection of this brain dead ADHD, that mind that they have, this monkey brain that's just going chaotic, monkey brain that's got rabies. What I learned from this final book that has really helped me, which is called Deep Work by Cal Newport, is the power of focus. If you can focus on the task at hand, if you can focus on the person who's speaking to you, you can create amazing success. You see, the success that you want comes down from you being able to be good at what you do. Whether it's, for example, being totally present and loving in a conversation with your lady, or it's to be super focused in a flow state whilst you work. As I say these words to you, there are absolutely zero thoughts in my mind, and there hasn't been for the last hour or so. I don't know if you believe me or not, but there is literally zero thoughts in my mind. And I bet you're probably thinking that might be kind of nice to experience. Imagine if there was zero thoughts in your mind whilst you work, and so all you were focused on, you were in a flow state of just completing the task to the best of your ability. This is what athletes call being in the zone. You know, you always hear of athletes giving interviews, and they always say something like, oh, but I just get into the zone and then I don't think anything. The zone is like being in a flow state. It's a place where you will act to the best of your abilities compared to your brain just piping up. You know that time when you've been trying to read a book and you keep having to reread the same paragraph or sentence because your brain just thinks about something else? That's the exact opposite of this. Now imagine living life like that. Imagine having sex with your brain like that. Do you think you're going to be uniting with your lover? Imagine the last conversation you're ever going to have with your mother while she's on her deathbed. And here's your brain thinking about Candy Crush or Clash of Clans or some weird fucking game that you play. Imagine how much of life you're missing out because of a brain that just won't shut the fuck up. I took this to an extreme level. I learned the principles of being able to focus without distractions. And I did a complete 180. You know, for most of my life, I'm not even embarrassed to say this, for most of my life, I couldn't even read. I genuinely couldn't read. Of course, I can read English, but I literally would get one or two sentences in and I'd need to just stop and my brain would just go weird and I'd be thinking about something else and I'd try and reread the same sentence again and again. Or when it came to school or university, or you're trying to build my business 3-4 years ago, I'd literally just be there in front of the computer and my brain would get distracted and I'd click away and then I'd get a notification that I message someone, then I'd literally go and take weed breaks. I'm sat there trying to learn how to meditate for the first time in my life. I download the app and I'm testing it. Okay, 3 minutes is the smallest time. I put the 3-minute one on. Eyes closed, trying to do it, feeling a bit like weird and uncomfortable. And it's just so slow. Take a deep breath and, do this. It's so slow and so boring and I can't stay focused. And I check how long I've been meditating for and it was 45 seconds. And then I take a break from meditation and go and smoke weed. I couldn't even meditate for 3 minutes straight without smoking weed as a nice little break or treat in the middle.